folks. Today I wanted to discuss a little bit about religion and the history of religion and why is it a issue, or should we look at the history of the religion that you believe in? Because if you don't know where you've been, you certainly don't know where you're going. Okay, so the history of religion and Christianity, you should really consider the history of it before you dedicate your life for something that is not based on what you perceive it to be, because perception is really your reality. So if you perceive this thing to be good, but if you look at the history of it, you'll discover that it really is not good. So it's something that we should consider as Christians or former Christians like myself. I'm no longer a Christian. After I'd done my research, we discovered that Christianity is just it's a fraud and it's a scam. And if I was to put it in two words, fraud and scam. Um, and it makes people feel good because you go there, they tell you good things to make you feel good to get 10% of your income. But I can say that now, just like in a nutshell and a synopsis. But when you do it's a lot of research that you have to go through to realize that. You know, and I've been a Christian for many, many years. But once you do your research, you realize that if you want to believe what's true. Now, if you just want to believe uh, what you already know, or you don't want to learn anything new, keep repeating the same thing. You'll get the same results. Faith without evidence. Things hoped for. You just have a lot of hope, but no evidence. Like when you pray, nothing happens. You'll have hope and no evidence. Now, if you want something real, you want to live in the reality, not as just this fictitious world um, of religion and Christianity. I don't care if you're Muslim, JW. Um, if you want to live in those worlds where it's just in your head and not in reality, stick with what you're doing. But I would say this, folks. If you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for anything. It's very important to understand that. If you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for anything. People are going to tell you anything and you're going to believe it. Okay? It's very important as a sound mind person to live in reality. Because, that's how you get taken advantage of. That's how people steal from you. That's how you get robbed. Not living in reality. Someone come and distracted. What's that over there? You're looking over there, now they're robbing you. You got to be present. You got to be in the reality. So, I would recommend people to do history, research on the history of your religion, understand where Christianity come from, understand what the New Testament come from, understand that Christianity, you must understand that the New Testament makes you a Christian. You must understand that. Without the Old New Testament telling you that Jesus Christ rose from the dead, this guy, the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and He gave His life for us for our sins. I mean, that story. You know, you have to ask yourself, who gave you that story? Then you have to turn to the Book of Romans. Now, Romans is an actual state now in the world. Romans. It's not a coincidence that you turn to the Book of Romans, because they're the one that gave you this religion, the Romans. Now, historically, we ought to know all roads lead to Rome. These people were the most powerful in the world at one point. The problem still is, because the Romans, every president still goes through the Vatican. Okay, so it's very important to understand your history of religion. And if you go back into the history of it, you'll realize and understand that these people were killing people. Your religion started out as just killing people. They show up, you must convert or you will die. If you want to do business with us, you must convert or you must die. This is just historical facts. Now, if you just want to still believe this character, and then over time it changes to this nice guy that loves you and takes, wants to, love you and all this stuff, but yet he's going to make you burn in the eternity forever. You know, just in a conscious mind and a reality standpoint, Where does the good and loving God, where does that equate? Good and loving and mercy endures forever, when people going to allegedly burn forever and be tormented for eternity. And no one asked to be born. No one was asked to be here. We were just born. I didn't ask to come here. My mother and father got together and boom, here I am. And now if I do something that you gave me this body, and you tell me these rules, if I break them, I'm going to burn forever. Is that a loving God?